Tonight on The Local Live, the Mamaroneck Town Council proclaims June 1st Gun Violence Awareness Day. Higher water rates are coming to Larchmont. Sweet Charlie's rolls onto the avenue. And on tonight's roundtable, Jim Killerin of the Habitat for Humanity reveals how he gets local high school students excited about volunteering. Good evening, it's Thursday, May 24th, 2018. I'm Kat Galliano and welcome to The Local Live. Last week, the Mamaroneck Town Council declared the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day, as proposed by resident Amy Gross. Participants are encouraged to wear the color orange on June 1st, 2018, in a show of solidarity with other communities nationwide. All members of the council signed the proclamation, and Town Supervisor Nancy Seligson provided supporting statistics on gun violence.
It says, whereas gun violence is a major concern for every American and every community because 96 Americans are killed by gun violence every day, there are nearly 13,000 gun homicides every year, and Americans are 25 times more likely to be killed with guns than people in other developed countries. And whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve is elected officials' highest responsibility. And whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from dangerous people, and whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership.
National Gun Violence Awareness Day is inspired by Hadia Pendleton, who was shot and killed in Chicago on January 29, 2013. Just 1 week after performing with her school's marching band at President Barack Obama's second inauguration. Friends commemorate her life by wearing orange. Seligson noted that hunters wear orange to alert other hunters of their presence when they are in the woods. Orange symbolizes the value of human life. The Village of Larchmont will see increases in water rates come June 1st, 2018. At Monday's Board of Trustees meeting, Village Administrator Justin Dottino explained that the Water Fund is funded by water sales and service charges, not by property taxes.
The proposed increase is a 10.5% increase on the service charges as well as the variable rate, which is charged in a peak fashion for the summer months and a non-peak for the winter months. And that number was derived, again, through the analysis of the Finance Committee, who was a great help, and as well as the Village Treasurer, myself, and the Board. And basically, there's two components. Just a little bit over a 6% increase is directly attributed to the increase in debt service we've taken on. We really haven't done much to the water system since the pumps that we replaced recently were installed in the 50s. I mean, that's pretty much the last significant effort that the Larchmont Water operation has seen. This really wasn't, the repairs that we completed really were not wants, they were needs.
The fee increases, which last happened in 2015, cover the $3 million debt service caused by capital projects to upgrade the village's water infrastructure, and also the potential water rate increases from New York City, which sells water to the Westchester Joint Water Works, which supplies Larchmont. And a reminder for residents in Mamaroneck Village that the use of leaf blowers is banned from May 15th through September 30th. The ban could be lifted for up to a week following a significant storm or other emergency if authorized by the Department of Works supervisor. And here is Mike Witch, who will talk with Jim Killerin from Habitat for Humanity about working with Mamaroneck High School students.
Hello and welcome to the Roundtable tonight. Our guest, one guest is no stranger to LMC TV. Jim Killerin, sitting next to me, is the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity in Westchester.
Yes.
And Jim, you brought with you Charlie Mullen.
Hello.
And hi, Charlie. And you are the president of, well, tell the folks what you're president of.
Well, I'm the president of the high school club. So we work once a month and we help build at Habitat homes a lot.
And the high school club is called what?
We call it MHS Habitat for Humanity.
And how long has it been around?
I don't know, a while. So my brothers took it over about 4 years ago, and then I know it had an extensive past.
Yeah.
So I think a while, yeah.
I think the guy next to you knows the whole history of the club. How many years has that club been there?
It started, and Charlie's one of my leaders, and I have thousands of leaders. I've been around doing Habitat clubs for almost 30 years. So the Potter family, as I drove a bike over here once, a house was getting knocked down off of Larchmont Avenue to build a bigger yard, and we went to recycle it, and a woman comes walking by, and I said, well, you know, we have Habitat Club. She said, oh, I'd love my daughter to get involved with that. And I believe it was Allison Potter who was my first Habitat leader.
And that's the beginning.
And so those leaders, and Charlie has been part of going to our high school advisory board, which meets once a month.
Wow.
FASNY is part of that. Horace Mann, Yonkers.
But now you've got, I don't mean to interrupt you,
No,
but
no,
you've
no,
got
please.
a lot of projects that we want to talk about. Specifically, Charlie is one of 30 Mamaroneck seniors who are working with you for 1 month. But first, hold that thought. I know you got a lot to say about it. I want to remind our viewers that this is a live segment. So if you've got a question about Habitat or you want to make a comment, feel free to call us, or you can send an email. The contact information is on your screen. So tell me about the 30 seniors.
Well, Charlie is head of the Habitat Club, but this is the first year that the school called me and said, will you take seniors?
Yeah.
And Bobby Brizzard, who's a friend of Charlie,
Yeah.
right? He's on the lacrosse team. Shout out to they just won the playoff game.
Right,
Go
congratulations.
Tigers, right?
And he was supposed to be here.
Right, and he is getting ready for the next game. They just came from the field. But I have a Tiger SWAT team every morning of 30 seniors.
Wow.
That get deployed. Bobby's one of my generals. Emma, I call it the Milo team, which is my garden team. And
It's kind of an army.
and I have 15,000 volunteers. This is a SWAT team from Mamaroneck High School. Phenomenal, of kids that go all over the county every morning for a month. And they're senior interns. And they are getting hepatitis. It's horrible. It's an infection.
I don't think it's horrible. Did we show pictures yet? I don't know if we showed them yet, but we've got some photos that Jim brought in, so maybe we can see some of those pictures.
Sure.
And Jim, you can tell us what we're looking at.
Well,
as we see
here's
them.
Zoe, who's in a historic Marquette Row in Yonkers. We just got that house for a veterans family, and she's having fun with a chainsaw, it looks like, a Sawzall. And the seniors have cleared brush. They took off a roof.
Wow.
They're learning to build.
Yeah.
And I think
And operate tools.
this may be one of the most important educational experiences of the 4 years at Mamaroneck High School. I don't say that lightly,
No.
but service in a county that is a dichotomy of all backgrounds, and economic and ethnic and racial. These kids are going out every morning working from Yonkers to Chappaqua. And we started here.
That's a range. That's a
Right.
range of economies there.
In Mount
Yeah.
Vernon, in Millwood, making community gardens on Main Street in New Rochelle, helping with our green recycling store that we just did the appraisal roadshow on Main Street, where we bring
In New Rochelle, yes. This was just
everybody.
this past weekend.
Right, and we'd love to start one here in Mamaroneck as well. Our home base is Mamaroneck, where we did our first house 30 years ago,
Yeah.
where we did the floods in the flats. A shout out to Keith and God rest Arlene Greenstrow and Soul and the First Baptist Church we helped gut. This is really home for me. And everything about what this weekend represents, Memorial Day, is about everyone having a home and a place to have a roof. And the saddest thing in this county is that I'm looked at like I have three heads when I say, can we build a veterans family, a home in your town or city? We are seeing mass migration. That is what the seniors and Charlie leads. Poverty should have been ended.
Yeah.
Home ownership, the American dream, everyone's going to raise the flag and go to a parade. We need to be building homes in New York, or else people are leaving at an extraordinary level at the biggest rate in the history of our state to other states where people can afford to live and millennials have a future. This mission that the seniors and that Charlie does is no light mission.
Yeah.
And we need everybody watching to get hepatitis. HabitatWC.org is our website, by the way.
Oh, no, I'm sure you're going to give that website about 5 more times. We're gonna-
25.
Charlie, I want to ask you something, but before we do, I want to take a little break, and we'll be right back. We're going to be talking to Charlie Molen about his experience with Habitat for Humanity in Westchester. Stay with us. Welcome back to tonight's roundtable. Charlie Molen, you're president of Westchester, the Mamaroneck Student Club, Westchester for, Habitat for Humanity in Westchester. What do you get out of this?
Well, we get a lot out of this because, first of all, we get a lot of experience.
Yeah.
So we go to these builds and help people that need help. We help build homes. We went to the VFW. We clean things up for the veterans there. So we get an overall experience of just helping people. And then also, some people in our club are part of Lions Heart, so they do this for service hours. But I think one thing we've done is really drawn them into the club and got them to be a core member of the group and have them come to a lot of our builds and events.
Were you surprised at the level of need in Westchester? Because most people think, especially Larchmont, Mamaroneck, it's a kind of wealthy area, but there's need in our own community besides the greater community.
Yeah, so I was in Homics in 8th grade, and so my brothers are 3 years older than me, so they were juniors by then, and I was still in Homics, and they were the head of the club. So I know every weekend they'd go out to their builds, and I didn't really know what was happening, to be honest. But then finally when I got to freshman year and I started going, I realized that there really is a need around this area in Westchester. Like, even in Mamaroneck, people need help. But mainly in the sites that we've gone to, such as in Yonkers, Chappaqua, New Rochelle, there's just so many places, and there's always need.
And how many people do you work with in an average year of activity, let's say?
Well, student-wise, we've had a bunch of kids. So this year, I would say our club has actually grown exponentially.
Wow.
Because I started my freshman year, I took over the club at the end of the year. So we had 250 members maybe, but a lot of those were previous graduated members, like seniors or something.
Wow.
So I felt the need to, like, so to speak, like, clear the club a little bit, like have a fresh start. So I added some of the sophomores I knew that year and juniors. And now we started off this year with 60, but now we're at 150.
You are like a SWAT team.
Yes.
You are an army
So we've
of...
grown
No,
by
they are.
90.
Yeah.
So student-wise, I think we've had a record. Our build in New Rochelle, where we were helping at a house, we had 22 people come, including myself. So that was a lot of people. And then we also help with the building advisors that Jim has at the sites, such as like Mike, right? So in
Mike and
Chappaqua,
Steve and
yeah, Steve.
Tarasa.
So we know them, and then they help us a lot and really give us a clear view on what to do to help the people in the house.
It must feel good.
Yes.
And you're learning tools and planning and organization and team building and cooperation. We could go on and on and
Yeah.
on. What can viewers of our show do to help the club in Mamaroneck?
Well, right now, Jim and I are actually looking to establish a site in Mamaroneck, so they could help us with that, like talking to the mayor and stuff such as that. And then we'll be at so usually in the summer, they have something on Mamaroneck Avenue. I think it's called Summerfest.
Yeah.
I volunteered there before, so I went to the village camp, so I've done that. So we're going to have a booth there so they can come by and even donate if they want. And then we have the New Rochelle Street Fair, too. Swing by there during the fall.
you helped with that?
Yeah, I've helped with that. We got a bunch of donations. We carried around the tins in our 2x4 and had people sign and donate.
All right.
So that's a good way to help.
Thank you. You're an excellent spokesperson for this organization. I think he takes after you.
I take after him. I'm inspired every day. When I say, wow, thank God, he gets it. And tonight, one of your viewers, a senior or a young kid, a family that needs a home. I just actually helped a family that was displaced from Puerto Rico. They were just in my office before I came here, and we've been helping them. They just moved into an apartment in Mamaroneck. It got them jobs. One of them is working in the school system. But they get it. My leaders get it. I have 50 leaders. I have thousands. You multiply 50 of what he does, not including the faith community. We had 1,000 volunteers over the last 10 days. Not enough.
No.
We are seeing a tale of two cities. And for him to know that how good he has it and how good it is to give back, because you never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. no matter how big your house is, how much, we're all philanthropists, whether you have $1 million or $1 in your pocket, we're all put on life to help each other. The theology of the hammer started here, where with Larchmont Temple, St. John and Paul, St. John's, St. Augustine's, which does a walk for us every fall in November. This is a clarion call for every youth to learn to build. We have a builder's camp. Remember, as I said, Gates, Zuckerberg, and Bezos don't let their kids get on technology in their schools. We need to build again. I want Charlie to be CEO of the company that makes solar panels. Bobby to he might be company president of the company of the furniture company again. We can make things again, and we've demeaned that for a whole generation. And where Marquette Row is, where they're working the factories, Marquette means a carpet in French. And people would walk to work, and they'd walk home. And we've taken over what we call Battle Hill and built houses right on High Street and rehabbed and made community gardens. And we have a saying called NMU. Can you say NMU?
NMU.
What is it, Charlie?
No more ugly.
No more ugly. Should any neighborhood in Westchester or anywhere be ugly for any kid?
No.
Yet there are kids.
And you're not just talking about beautification, though. You're really talking about
total neighborhood revitalization.
a roof over your head and a neighborhood community.
Right, and we have a marching band of inner city kids. If you ask, because when I see the football game and the great band here, these kids have nothing. 270 kids are getting teachers are getting cut out of a budget in Yonkers. So a guy came up and says, "There's nothing for the kids." I said, "What do you need?" Drums, shirts, a school, 61 parades. The first parade they marched in when I was made the Friendly Sons of St.
You
Patrick.
made the Grand Marshal?
Whatever, Grand Poobah, I don't know. Grand Potato, which I'm proud of, is the band marched there. So it is it's like being home, but everything about Memorial Day is not about cookouts. It's about the freedom that we can be here, that the freedom we need to build America again and Westchester again from the bottom up. New York is suffering with a crisis of affordable housing right now.
Well, we've got a question from a viewer that's come in.
Yeah.
And the question is, as a volunteer, do you have a choice on what you can do? Let me ask Charlie that.
Well, so we've obviously been to various sites, but it's really what's needed there at the time. So my first time at Chappaqua, first of all, it's gotten so much better as the years have gone on, but we were digging dirt because I'm pretty sure it's on a sloped elevation. So that day we were digging dirt and helping to level it. There were plenty of schools there. And then the last time we went to Chappaqua, we were digging dirt, but jackhammering concrete. So it's really just what's needed. I mean, you could obviously find something curbed to you and what you're comfortable with, such as like painting or clearing the dirt, shoveling the dirt, not jackhammering. There's always something to do, but it's what you feel comfortable with.
And individuals can, they will then, separate from a group, will be guided to what the scope of the work is for that day. So if you know how to frame, needless to say, we're going to put you on framing. But people are learning these skills again. We're like the vocational school of yesteryear. We're teaching every day.
You mentioned something about donating, and there's another question just came in, and I'll read it off the prompter. Are there other ways to help Habitat other than donating money or building?
You know, we need mentors. So remember when you moved into your first home?
Yes.
Did you need to learn who do you call?
I had a wonderful neighbor who helped me out. Yes.
So you had someone help. We
Yes.
need mentors to be neighbors to our families. We do need special events people. We have our big recycling store right on Main Street in New Rochelle.
I want to talk about that because that's one of the features of Habitat that I don't think people know about. But we're going to take a break first
Sure.
and be right back about Habitat for Humanity in Westchester. Stay there. Welcome back to the round table tonight. We're talking with Jim Kaloran and Charlie Mullen about Habitat for Humanity in Westchester. Charlie is the president of the club at Mamaroneck High School, and Jim is the executive director of Habitat for Humanity in Westchester. You were talking about the Restore.
There are 800 in the country.
And where's ours?
Ours is 659 Main Street in New Rochelle. I just did the appraisal roadshow there.
Yeah.
It was so much fun, unbelievable. It was really like what you see on TV. There's 130 billion tons of material. 10% of every new job is thrown away. I have 500 brand new rugs. Sears Improvement just donated all brand new doors and windows from their warehouse. The stuff, you might see me on your house on garbage day. Remember my first house was Larchmont where they knocked it down. We recycled that.
Can I sneak in a thank you? Because when we were preparing this new studio here at the Town Center,
That's right, I forgot.
you were here with volunteers. You not only knocked down walls and got rid of a lot of debris, but you also donated some rugs that we have in our
Shout
green
out
room.
to TF Andrew Carpet
Yes.
One. I asked them to come in, who has helped me with people
Yes.
in various situations.
So thank you from LMC TV.
And then people don't always know, we generated $225,000 worth of sales tax, helped over 6,000 families save money on their home, and we gave over 600 families free furniture, like this family displaced who were in a fire or in floods.
So if I had something that I didn't need anymore and I wanted to donate it, is this a place to go?
So we want
The
to, and
Restore?
this is because we're on TV, I'm going to ask, Charlie and I will plan one day a month with the high school in Mamaroneck that people can bring to a site, and then that can be brought over to the Restore.
Ah, okay.
The pickup is challenging.
Yeah.
Because so many people want to give in a throwaway state.
Sure.
We recycle. So we take cabinets, we take doors, we take windows. Actually, we've taken whole houses down and recycled them. So that, instead of going to the
It's only about
landfill.
recycling the materials that are usable, still
Right,
usable, like doors and
or
windows.
if someone
and things.
buys a new house and they don't like
Yeah.
the one-year-old cabinet colors that someone put in,
Yeah.
we get that, and someone's got beautiful new cabinets saved.
Now, someone gets them. Do they have to qualify for that assistance, or can it just be
Well, they
anybody?
buy that. In other words, like 50% or less of whatever. So it's
Okay.
a Memorial Day weekend sale. But then if someone has nothing,
Yeah.
like in a fire or something like that, or I
Right.
work with other agencies, then we have donated time and time and time again. There was in Peekskill, 100 families burnt out 2 years ago, July 20th. Donated furniture to 100 families. I get calls from the mayors frequently, Mayor of Mount Vernon, Mayor of Yonkers, Mayor of Peekskill. I worked the night that the fire was here around Christmas. I was there, and Mayor Murphy can attest to this, and I brought 100 brand new coats that I get donated every year.
Wow.
And one thing I always say to every volunteer, at a year that we had $10 billion worth of disaster, and I did 200 flooded homes in Mamaroneck in 2006, are you ready for disaster tonight? Do you have a plan? Where do you go? And also, if there is a disaster, will you help me? Will you help me?
Yeah.
So I ask every one of our volunteers. I brought 9,000 volunteers, including LMC TV staff, to the Rockaways
Yes.
because of what I learned in 2000.
That was after Sandy,
In
right?
2006 here, I learned I learned how to do gutting and mucking and create disaster teams. Just like he's a SWAT team with he's my captain. He's my general from Mamaroneck Youth. I have generals all over this county. I'm the weakest link in the chain here. But I know to put good leaders around me, and that's one of...
I'd like to go back to your leader, one of your leaders here, and say,
Yes,
what's
General Mullen.
what's happening is there something happening in the summer with the club, or are you planning something for the fall that viewers should know about?
on the 18th.
Oh yeah, so over the summer you can volunteer at the Restore. So Jim has something called the A-Team.
Okay.
So you can volunteer there. I think they go around a little bit and they help.
They also
clean
help
up the
lead. They
Restore.
might lead companies. We'll have 150 people from a company in a day. I'll say, Charlie, will you lead these 10? You know the gig. Paint the storefront. Put 5 of them over here, make the community garden. Zoe, will you help here? Zoe Schmidt, who was a graduate of Mamaroneck High School, helped to make the community garden on Main Street with volunteers.
Now, these are sites that you've...
All over the county.
Yeah, but you've identified them as a need.
Right. And so,
Okay.
and I get calls all the time from
Yeah.
seniors who have no heat or no air conditioning or no running water. There was a veteran in Eastchester, 3 years without running water in his home. I get that's the poor amongst us for our seniors in the highest tax county in the country where everything should be perfect. There's a disconnect between the speak and what gets done.
Yeah.
We need to get it done.
We have another question. Does Habitat provide transportation for volunteers to those locations?
Sometimes we not primarily though. You know, we ask the volunteers to get to the site. You know, I'm a big one, by the way. It's nice to see some. I'm a big one on creating biking throughout Westchester. We're 2-car centric, and biking is affordability. But we will rent a van. We have a builders camp as well. right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
And your brothers went on the builders camp. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
So learning how, they get a tool belt, a manual, learning how to, just like I had college kids help me gut this place, and he'll learn how to put up sheetrock. He's putting insulation. He's learning about passive houses, which is the standard, the #1 standard. In 1998, if you go to Bob Vila Yonkers, Google it, we built a house on national TV here in a week. Energy efficient, designed.
Some people may not know who Bob Vila is.
I know.
I remember him.
He's
he was
still
one of
around.
the original people on PBS.
Right.
Right.
He was the
Yes.
original home improvement guy.
Yes.
And he's still doing so. So we built a house in a week on national TV. I took down a house on the Regis and Kelly show that we recycled the whole thing. And Regis is saying, Habitat of Westchester, got the house. And the house next to City Hall in New Rochelle, half of it is built from that. Someone bought that and put it in there.
So I want you to talk about, oh God, another question come in. You're
Great.
a popular
Good,
a
we love
popular topic.
questions.
Is the planting trees to grow fruit on the street initiative still happening in New Rochelle? Will that spread to other communities?
I'm a big one on greening communities.
Yes.
And I don't know that, I had talked about, we have these planters, right, Charlie? We have
Yeah.
160 planters that we put food in. And imagine
You mean grow food?
we grow food. We want cancer to be gone in the view of his lifetime too.
So it's natural.
Right.
Natural
Eating at a
healthy.
time when Mrs. Green's just went out, which I'm saddened
Yeah.
to see. I just
Yeah.
went to get a juice and it was closed. Very sad. I think every one of his, in World War II, during this Memorial Day, 20 million people had victory gardens. We need to have victory again.
You know Victory Gardens?
I did. I learned about it.
You
in
heard about
Global.
them, yes.
I have,
yeah.
yes.
They go
So
back many
we
years.
have to have victory again of growing food, because if it doesn't have chemicals. So we make these in food deserts where there's no healthy food.
Okay,
there's
so
bodegas.
that person's question,
I hope so. The city
you're
gave me a
aiming-
hard time
okay.
about putting planters on Main Street.
okay.
There's a lot of greenwashing, they call it. But really, they cut down every tree from my headquarters down to Home Depot. We hope, where other mayors have welcomed it in
Yeah.
3 other cities. So we want communities to be green again and to grow food. And any place that my first garden was on C and 10th in the Lower East Side in 1990, and it's now like the botanical gardens growing food. No one knows me. I'm a guerrilla gardener. I get the land, I get the supplies, and then I get good people like that person who
Yeah.
knows how to really grow and make it happen.
Well, it's obvious that you have inspired Charlie, and it sounds like
He
you've
inspires
inspired
me.
thousands of other people. So if people want more information, that
please,
website again?
Please go to habitatwc.org, and you can go to Habitat for Humanity of Westchester Facebook. Follow us at Habitat WC, Instagram and Twitter, and really come visit us this week on Memorial Day weekend, 659 Main Street, and get hepatitis. And I love Mamaroneck and Larchmont. Thank you to the people, the public. Charlie, thank you, your family, every student. Thank you to the Mamaroneck seniors who are my SWAT team. Let's keep it going, Mamaroneck youth. Continue to be my SWAT team all summer long. If you want your youth involved, call me directly, 914-403-4821.
Say that again. Say that again.
403-4821.
Okay.
And we need to build another home here. And there's a senior out there watching this tonight who needs us to come and work on their home.
And you want to hear from that senior?
And we want to hear from that senior, and we're
Okay.
there to help.
Jim Kaloran from Habitat for Humanity in Westchester, and Charlie Mullen from Mamaroneck High School. Thank you so much. And we've got more coming up on the local live. Stay tuned.
I'm a reporter, I'm a producer, I'm a writer.
I am a news anchor. I am a producer.
I am a news editor.
I am the technical director.
I am a reporter. I am an anchor.
I volunteer for the local live because I'm a proud resident of Larchmont and Mamaroneck, and I like to give back to the community.
I volunteer for the local live because I believe in bringing the news into your living room.
I volunteer for the local live because I believe in leadership, support, and success in a community.
I volunteer at the local live because it's a fun learning experience, and I know each week I come, I can learn something new.
I volunteer for the local live because I believe in community television.
As a spring intern at the local live, I learned new skills like video, editing, and production, and furthered my skills as a writer. The internship gave me confidence as I embarked on my journey through the world of journalism.
We are the local live.
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 This week in sports, the sectional playoffs were underway with several local teams in the mix. In a first-round baseball matchup with Yorktown senior Max Bone helped Mamaroneck set the tone with a 2-out, 2-run single in the LMC Varsity Sports Play of the Week.
Antonelli, but as of now, we are not seeing any indication of that, and he deals. And a line drive into right center field, and that will get to the right fielder. And 2 RBIs on the hit for Max Bone. 2-0 Mamaroneck. Great piece of 2-out hitting by the senior catcher.
Is your teen interested in film? Then LMC TV's workshop is just for them. Teens write, act, direct, and edit their own films. It's a full filmmaking experience you won't get anywhere else. Our workshop has limited space, so sign your teen up today for a fun, enriching experience. LMC TV, where creativity and community come together.
Last week, Westchester County Executive George Latimer announced that beaches at Playland, Glen Island, and Croton Point will open on weekends only from Memorial Day weekend through June 17th. But beginning on June 22nd, the county-owned beaches and pools will be on a full summer schedule until Labor Day. For more information, visit parks.westchestergov.org. Sebastian Hall visited Sweet Charlie's, the new ice cream shop on Mamaroneck Avenue.
If you're looking for a new dessert in town, come to Sweet Charlie's on Mamaroneck Avenue and enjoy this rolled-style ice cream. This roll-style ice cream started in Thailand back in 2009, and now the worldwide dessert has arrived in our town. Let's meet Brad Wien, the owner of Sweet Charlie's.
The process starts with a customer choosing which flavor base they would like. Once they choose the flavor, the individual goes to the machine, and whoever is making the ice cream for them pours the liquid and the mix-ins onto the table, which averages about 17 degrees below zero. They proceed to chop everything up, mix it all together. Once it's flattened out into a very thin pancake on the plate, they use special rollers to roll the ice cream up with. Right now we have a total of 10 varieties on the menu, but customers are allowed to mix and match any items that we have available.
I'm here with Bree and Bella from Mamaroneck Middle School, and they just came to have a little bit of the rolled ice cream. So what do you think so far?
Well, it's a really fun experience to watch them make it, and it's also really good.
So what do you like about Sweet Charlie's?
They have really good ice cream, and it's a new experience, and it's really good, and they have really good toppings.
Sweet Charlie's founders, brothers Jacob and Kyle Billig, named the ice cream chain after their dog. With 7 locations on the East Coast, they hope to expand with 17 additional locations and make roll ice cream a nationwide delight.
And what a better way to start your summer than to come here to Sweet Charlie's and enjoy this rolled ice cream. For the Local Live, I'm Sebastian Hall.
On April 20th, LMC TV revealed a fundraising community mural. You can see we're about halfway there. Watch this to help us along the way.
LMC-TV would like to thank local artist Jamie Lynn at Made, an art studio in Mamaroneck, for creating a beautiful community mural. Place your piece in this mural by contributing to LMC-TV, the community connection that brings you local board meetings, varsity sports, and your local news. Please contribute to this community mural by going to our website and clicking on Donate. Each contributor will be listed next to the mural when it is complete. We value your appreciation of what we do. Become a single donor or as a group, go to lmctv.org. The only piece missing is you.
It's time for Pet of the Week, provided by Pet Rescue. Lee is a 5-year-old beautiful black and white cat. She loves to be petted. Can't you imagine stroking that soft, long hair? Looking for someone a little more active? Then Meg may be the pup for you. Meg is a mutt who is still under 6 months old. She loves to lick faces, play with other dogs, and do everything a puppy loves to do, which includes finding a good home and a family to love. For more information on Lee or Meg, or if you want to view any of the other pups that have recently arrived, please visit ny-petrescue.org. We're always looking for new volunteers and interns to help produce the newscast, and we love hearing from our viewers. Email comments and inquiries to thelocallive@lmctv.org. Memorial Day is this Monday, May 28th. We give thanks to those who made the ultimate sacrifice serving our country. Thank you for watching The Local Live. I'm Kat Galliano, and we'll see you next week. Good night.